ciel bleu vole en silence, les cœurs des gens à l'heure.
Hey everyone, so for today's video I did a full face of new products. We have the Extra Shot from Marc Jacobs, the new Heaven's Glow blush from M Cosmetics, some very interesting products from Milk Makeup. I have a lot to talk about, so I just wanted to jump on here and kind of do like a full face try on video with you all. So I hope that you all enjoy it, and if you do, definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you like me, I would love to have you back, so make sure to subscribe as well. I'm hoping that you can't tell that my hair is still pretty much wet, but drying my hair was really irritating. The burn that I just got like an hour ago, it's like that classic burn where you reach your hand into the oven and you have the oven mitt on, but your arm is exposed. So it's just been me and my bag of frozen peas for the last hour. The hair dryer, the heat from that in combination with the shower was really hurting. I figure my hair, you know, it's fine. But let's first start off with a primer, and we are going to be using the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. Here's how much I'm gonna put on. Because the first time I wore this, I was like, I'm not getting any glow whatsoever. But I have to say right away, this is a little bit of a weird experience. I don't know if the first few pumps of this product just weren't like mixed, but right now I'm automatically getting like triple the amount of glow that I did when I initially tried this. I'm gonna put a little bit on my neck. I was literally about to just jump on here, guys, and be like, there's no glow in this, where's the glow? And now I'm getting glow, and now I'm like, wait, what? Honestly, I'm really happy about it though, because I was kind of bummed. I was like, crap, I have this product that I don't even really like and is just gonna sit here, but wow. Huh, this feels really nice. You know what? It had to have been that like the first couple of pumps weren't mixed properly or something. Even feels like the texture even feels different than the first time I tried it. When I first tried it, it was super sticky and I didn't like that. I feel like I, at one point, was like a sticky primer person, and as I've used more of those kinds of primers, I don't like something sticky. I don't mind a tack though. This feels, I mean, I definitely feel it kind of drying down a little bit and kind of, you know, getting that little tack that is not my favorite, but I'm noticing on my skin, like, it's way more glowy than it was the first time. The first time, I think my skin kind of just like absorbed it. It felt more like a serum rather than an emulsion, which the Glossier Future Dew is definitely more of an emulsion. And if you guys haven't tried Future Dew, I've talked about it a lot on my channel because it's just like my holy grail primer. Aside from the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, I go between those primers, but I wanted to see how this compared because a lot of people were saying they were very similar. I think initially I have to say the textures are definitely different. I still think that this is more of that kind of serum texture, but it's definitely leaving behind a nice glow. But let's move on into a new product from Marc Jacobs. This is the Cafe Marc Jacobs Extra Shot Concealer and Foundation. Now, funny enough, when I bought this, I didn't realize that it was both a concealer and a foundation. I thought it was just a concealer. But then, as I was waiting for my order, Jamie Page did a video talking about this. And then I realized it was both a concealer and a foundation. I was like, really? So I'll tell you what, I already tried this under my eyes and it looked okay. But I'm gonna use it all over my face as a foundation and see if I prefer this as a foundation rather than a concealer, but I don't have another concealer to try, so I will probably still use this as a concealer, but we'll see. Okay, sponge has been dampened. Peas are also back into the picture. Let's see how this blends out. So I don't think I mentioned the shade. I'm the shade Light 120. It's actually a really nice shade match for me. Maybe like a little bit light, but I don't know. It's blending pretty seamlessly. I'm kind of spreading it with the sponge just because I didn't know how much I wanted to add. And it's giving like quite a lot of coverage. for how little product I put on. So, I actually really like that. I hate to say that I'm surprised. I was just kind of underwhelmed with the way this looked under my eyes. I'm gonna build up a little bit of coverage on just like some of the spots that I have, and then why not? I want to try this as a concealer again. It very well could be that this did a better job at priming my skin and that it's giving it a little bit more slip and just like general glow. So that might be why I'm liking this more, but I can just tell that you don't need much product. And these kind of thin layers are a better way to go, covering everything really nicely. It looks just really thin on the skin as well. Sometimes with a thinner textured, you know, concealer or foundation, they can look more drying just because there's not, you know, more creaminess or emollients to them. All over the face as a foundation with this, I actually really like. I just did a video on how I conceal my under eyes, being that I have both hollowness and a little bit of darkness. And you'd probably gather from that video that I'm very picky with concealers. I think this one looks okay. I am definitely feeling similar thoughts though to what I felt the first time, which is it's nice and thin, but I'm not typically a person that likes a really thin concealer. So like those classic concealers like Naked Skin, those tend to look more dry on me. I like this way more as a foundation product than I do as a concealer. Using it as a concealer under the eyes, I think it looks fine, but again, because I'm so picky, because I have those products that I know will, you know, conceal that hollowness, I would rather reach for those just because I know it's going to look better. I feel like as a foundation, this looks ultra thin and skin-like, and I'm not sure if it's because of this, like if this did a really good job at prepping my skin. It looks really, really good. If you're someone that likes a product like the Bare Skin foundation from Bare Minerals, I feel like you will really, really like this one. I think if you went and used this as a foundation, you would probably use it up a little bit faster than if you just use this as a concealer. But that being said, you could see I didn't really use much product at all for my entire face. Okay, so brows are set and I want to go into the face. So Physicians Formula sent me this. It's their new All-Star face palette. So it has a few different options in here. You have 2 bronzers, 2 highlights, and it looks like a pressed powder as well as a blush. But within here, they have their new matte bronzer. So that's the original butter bronzer, which is a favorite of mine. I love that powder. But they have this new matte version of the butter bronzer. The butter bronzer, I would consider it to be more matte to satin, but this looks like it's more of like a true matte. So I'm interested in seeing if it still blends really well on the skin. So I want to use this to kind of shape my face. So let's see. I don't want to add too much at once. I'm going to use this dual fiber brush from Makeup Forever. I will say it smells really good. It doesn't smell like the original butter bronzer because that one has a little bit of a coconutty smell. I don't know what that smell is. Okay, I think I added too much to the brush. So the color is certainly... I'm just going to go over here and pretend like that's not happening over there. So the color is way, way warmer than the original butter bronzer. The original butter bronzer in the shade bronzer is more neutral, which is why I really liked it. It's almost more neutral to cool. This is way more warmer. I'm gonna give the powder the benefit of the doubt because I didn't really know how much I was putting on my skin. So I'm just using a clean brush. See, on this side it blended really nicely, but this side, I kind of screwed that up. I'm gonna clean that up with just a little bit of foundation. If you guys ever do that, if you bring your bronzer or contour or blush or whatever down too low on your face, just put some foundation over it and you'll be good to go. Right away, I prefer the color of the original butter bronzer. I just think it's more unique and flattering, especially with a drugstore bronzer. I feel like it's more difficult to find a bronzer shade that's more neutral or cool. This one is way warmer. Yeah, no, honestly, over here, I love the way it blended, but that color is just, I don't think that color is flattering on my skin tone. I am gonna take it up onto the forehead though, just so I can look a little bit more blended. I do want to go back in and try this highlight, but first I want to go into a blush I'm very excited about. It is new from Cosmetics. It's their Heaven's Glow Venetian Rose. I do have the Faded Clementine and I really like that one, but this shade looks so pretty. If you're not familiar with this formula, it's kind of this baked formula with a soft shimmer throughout. Not even really a shimmer. I would say it's kind of like just a sheen, a very subtle kind of shift. So let's take this onto the cheeks. I think I'm gonna use this brush. I'm just gonna press it into the cheeks. That has a really nice luminosity to it. I feel like it's getting muddled with that bronzer, so I can't really tell the true color of it. Oh, I can see it much better on this side. That looks really pretty. There's just like a beautiful softness to this baked formula. There are some baked formulas that just feel a little bit chalky or just that they don't have any pigment. These are actually quite a pigmented formula. It's not too pigmented, but you do get pigment payoff for sure. Yeah, that looks really pretty. I'm gonna put some on my nose as well. Yeah, you can tell from that blush, that kind of shift to the cheeks and that dimension is from the blush. As much as I feel like the blush helped everything look a little bit more blended and put together, that bronzer, I think, kind of screwed things up. But you know what? That's what these videos are about. We don't know what's gonna happen. Even me, the person putting together the video. But let's move forward. I'm gonna give this palette another shot. I wanna try out this highlight. It's the Mineral Glow Pearls. Apparently this is limited edition. I feel like I've seen this before, but maybe this shade in particular is limited edition. And it looks like a really pretty highlight. I haven't used a powder highlight in quite a while. Patience formula, please don't let me down with this. Whoa, that is a highlight. That is, wow, that is blingy. That is a lot more highlight than I usually go for. Wow. You know what? This actually reminds me quite a bit of the Fenty Diamond Powder, the pressed diamond powder, but I didn't like that one because I felt like it was just straight icy. This one does have like a gold base to it, so you get that really like icy shift, but the base of it is a little bit more champagne-y, so it, I think, blends a little bit better onto my skin. Even though this isn't something that I would wear on the daily, I feel like this would photograph really prettily, and it doesn't really look textured on my skin at all. I will say though that my skin, like the texture of it, I've been using a duo of products that's really been helping it. So I don't know if that's a testament to how my skin is doing or the formula of this. I don't know, I'm kind of digging it though. Okay, next I'm going to put on a little bit of this from Cosmetics. It's their lip cushion in clear quartz. I have been just keeping this on my desk and applying this as needed. I actually wanted to apply this at the beginning of the video, I forgot. Yeah, this has just been a really nice comforting lip product that isn't too slippy, it's not too thick, it's just a really easy kind of comfort lip product. Look who wanted to join us. Come here, honey. Hey, hon. How's it going? My washer was making a very loud noise, so I think that upset her. And by the way, I actually took the time, I went and looked in natural light at the powders and the foundation just to see how it looked without the studio lights. And the foundation looks really thin and skin-like. I'm just really surprised by that. The highlight actually looks really good in person too. Like it definitely for me would be more of a nighttime highlight. Like I probably wouldn't wear it during the daytime, but I'm surprised at how much I like it. As for the bronzer, I still don't like the bronzer. The blush looks pretty. I know some of you guys know Kit, but this is my pride and joy. All right, now that I am covered in dog hair, we can move forward into the eyes. I have two different products that are new that I've released for the eyes. I have the Smashbox Always On shadow in the shade Amber. Spoiler alert, I've really been liking this. And then I also have this color chalk from Milk Makeup. This was a very interesting product, so I wanted to give it a go. But I first want to start off with this from Smashbox. And I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand and use this as kind of like a defining kind of crease color, just because this is way more of a kind of topper color. You're not going to get much definition from that color. So yeah, I'm just using this as a crease color. And the number one thing that I've noticed with these shadows, I only have one shade, the shade Amber again. The number one thing that I've noticed is that this is very, very budge-proof makeup, but it doesn't look heavy, which is always the kind of balance that I'm looking for with a cream matte shadow. I want something that's gonna last a little bit longer, but I also don't want it to look crackly or awkward on the skin. And this really, really lasts on the skin. I would definitely say this is a good base product, especially for some of these more creamy emollient cream shadows. If you want to put a base product down like this, it will help everything wear longer. You can see it doesn't look like anything special, you know what I mean? But it is a really, really nice base, and I think for the final look, it makes more of a difference than what you're gonna see at the beginning. Let's go on into the eyes with this little product, which is the Milk Makeup Eye Chalk. When I first heard about this, I was like, that's kind of interesting. I like that it's very little packaging. You can see on the sides here that you pull off these little pieces of wrapping paper that is around the chalk and expose more product as you use it. But then I started thinking, chalk. That does not sound like something I would want to be associated with an eye product, something chalky. But let's give it another go. I've only ever tried this once before. I'm gonna put it from my finger onto the lid rather than just applying it straight from the piece of chalk. I feel like a little bit of warmth with this product will go a long way. By the way, this is the shade Tag. It's kind of just like a soft champagne shade. It's going on really nicely and like evenly. I do feel like it just lacks that extra something. It more so reminds me of like, I don't know, it looks just like if I had put my powder highlight on my lids and called it a day. I don't know if I would go out of my way to purchase. Honestly, it looks nice. Like it looks soft and pretty, but it's kind of underwhelming. I don't know, I would have to try out the other shades to see if the other shades bring something new to the table. Putting the product on my lids, I'm just kind of underwhelmed by it. So I don't have a new mascara, so I'm just gonna use this one from Chanel. It's the Inimitable Intense Mascara. I've been trying this one out. I bought a bunch of Chanel makeup to kind of do like a full face video, and I've really, really been liking this mascara. If you're someone that likes more of a kind of separated but volumized look, I feel like this is a nice mascara for that, because you can see it still gives you separation, but the volume and the length is still there. You know what's weird is looking at it even more up close, the Milk Makeup Chalk, it looks so similar to the highlight that I have on, but the highlight looks even better. Like I could easily have put that highlight on the lids and gotten even more shine and impact, I think. Again, I think I would have to try out other shades to see if the other shades bring something different to the table. But yeah, not very impressed. Okay, now let's move on into the lips. So I have here the Air Matte Lip Color from NARS. I already talked about in a recent video the Air Matte Blush, and I was not a huge fan of that. But I did try this out as well, and I really, really like it. So this is the shade Pinup, and formula is really reminiscent of a lot of the K-Beauty kind of whipped lip textures. It's super reminiscent of those, but I haven't found one, at least in my collection, that's like an exact dupe, because this one is nice and fluffy, but it's not as slippy as some of those can be. Okay, and let me show you. This shade is really, really, really beautiful. Again, it's the shade Pinup. Such a pretty color. You can see it has quite a bit of pigmentation. For me, it's definitely kind of like a matte, blotted liquid lipstick product. It's very fluffy and air light. It is a little bit slippier though, so for me, if I wanted this to last a long time, I would probably go in with a lip liner. You can see on its own, it's like a really pretty, just blotted kind of matte look that I think is really nice. And this is the completed look, all full face of new products. So I want to run through the products again just to kind of reiterate my first impressions, or maybe second impressions. For this is definitely a second impression now. Much better than the first time I tried this. Again, like, I feel like there's just a luminosity to my skin that I really like. Do I immediately like the texture as much as Future do? No. But I can see liking this if I don't want as much rich emollients that that product has. So if you do lean more combination oily and you want a glow product, I feel like this looks really, really good. Now for the Marc Jacobs Extra Shot. Under the eyes, I'm not a fan, but as a foundation, I'm almost curious about taking a little bit of this and mixing it with this as like an all over kind of tinted moisturizer look. I feel like that would look really pretty. Like, these textures go together really, really well. And I have to say, when I looked in the mirror, when I went into natural light, this looked like untraceable on the skin. Very, very thin. It didn't look powdery. It just kind of sunk down into the skin in a really nice way. Feeling good about this combo. Now let's move on into this palette. You see how the highlight now kind of has a champagne thing in the middle? I told you that there was kind of this shimmer on the top. I'm not a huge fan of when brands do that, when they have like this shimmer coating on the top. I do think that this is a good value though. I like that you get the original butter bronzer. For me, this one didn't work. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really liking the highlight. It's definitely different for me, but I kind of like it. As for the Heaven's Glow blush, I'm not surprised by the formula. It's very in line with Faded Clementine, which is the other shade that I've tried. It's just this really nice glowy baked formula. I like that you can really build up the pigment to get more of like that like dimensional blushing look. You can see like it just looks really nice on the skin. It looks really thin, which I think is nice. As a whole, I really, really like that blush. I think it gives you just the right amount of pop. I definitely went heavy on the blush today. Okay, moving on into the eyes. So first of all, let's just get this out of the way. I'm not liking it. I think it's just a little bit overpriced for the quality of the product. Like, I think this isn't giving me enough shine. I think it just looks a little bit flat for it being kind of like a shimmer product. It looks pretty, but you know, I just see you being able to get this shimmer in any of the powder highlights that you already own. So I let you all know that the Smashbox Always On is definitely a good matte base product if you're looking for something to really last all day, or, you know, extend the wear of some of the other shades of cream shadow that you have. I hope that you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you like me, please make sure to subscribe as well. I would love to have you back. So with all of that, I will see you in my next one.